Hey, today I wanted to talk about stereotypes. Are stereotypes a good thing or are they a bad thing? Do they help give us like this type of, rule book when it comes to life and judging people and choosing partners and choosing friends and stuff? I mean, how accurate are stereotypes, and how much are we proved wrong when we have stereotypes or stereotypical views and we judge people because of them? My take on it is that I think stereotypes are quite funny because I get stereotyped like weekly, especially like in the workplace and stuff. Because I look really young for my age, I kind of like use that as an advantage. I think I probably have this disease where I don't age the same speed as other people, but you can use it to your advantage, where you could try and relate to people from different walks of life, but then sometimes it's a disadvantage because people underestimate you and people underestimate your mindset and things like that. But I normally like that because it's nice to see their expressions or their views when you open up a bit more and challenge them. There's stereotypes like, if you're born from a single mother, you'll grow up to be nothing but shit. But then there's people who grow up in two-parent homes, and still grow up to be shit with their mother and father there and probably having everything on their plate. I mean, some people might perceive that if your daddy and your mummy are really rich, you'll be fine in life and you'll grow up to be an amazing doctor. But like, one of my cousins is a doctor and his mom is a single mother. For example, Lawrence Fishburne's daughter decided she's going to sell her pussy for a living and be a porn star. But yet she comes from a rich background where her father had a lot of money and she's in a position where she could be anything she wanted or start any business, but she chose that she wanted to be a porn star. So you have to be careful with misconceptions and stereotypes, because if you meet anybody in that type of world, you'd think they're a specific way. So what you need to understand, sometimes people who have a lot of money are used to having a lot of money. It's just normal to them. Money is something big to people that don't have it. I know people who have discussed their money and they don't wear any name brands or designer clothes at all. And then people that get a little money, they want to be wearing things that are advertising the designer left, right and center. So stereotypes can be quite funny, because you go to a club, you wear a mini dress, a guy might think you're an easy target or you're a hoe. Sometimes you could be right, but then the stereotype could prove you wrong at many times. Some people are just comfortable with their body and like to dress up. The same with a guy. He's driving a Mercedes, he's driving a BMW. He must have a lot of money. The car could be on finance, the car could be like on hire purchase. He could have borrowed it from his mama. That might be all he has, and to show for his career progression and nothing more. So that's why I think it's always good to judge people on their merit. No matter what background they come from, you'll find that different people have a lot to bring to a plate. For example, my first video that I made on YouTube was about some tabloid thing I read about Lil Wayne dissing dark-skinned women, and just because I decided to talk about, I used that as a topic to talk about, because I feel like there's some issues in the black race when it comes to like colorism and complexions being better than other complexions, and if you're this complexion you're ugly, if you're that complexion you're light, which is high school. It's stupid to me, but I thought it would be a good topic to base my conversation on. And out of that came the stereotypes that she must be a bitter single black female who's really upset with her skin tone and hates herself and just can't get a man, when it really isn't the case. But that's hence the stereotype that came with it. And keep your head up. And I have no issues, I just thought it was a good topic to talk about. I could talk about anything. It don't mean that I'm feeling a certain way. What I say is what I mean. So whatever I said in that video was my view. But then you get stereotyped like, oh my god, here's another angry black female. I'm just like any female. Some days I'm angry, some days I'm happy. I can talk about anything I think is of relevance to being me. I'm not here to please the world. either with me or against me, so I couldn't really care less. Stupid stereotypes, if I decide to wear a rainbow coloured jewellery, maybe, you know, like this, I might be, some people have asked me dumb shit like, am I gay? Because I like rainbow colours. So I really think that if you just base your views on stereotypes alone, it makes you very ignorant. It puts a blockage up, and it doesn't show good intelligence, because intellect is a lifetime learning process, and stereotypes put gates around. You know, some stereotypes are accurate, but they're never going to be accurate on a scene, on a high, yield, because your stereotypes are normally based on what you see in your world and in your upbringing and in your neighborhood. But you'll be shocked when you move around, the stereotypes can become void. So I just think that try and see if the person has anything in their mind and judge them on their merit, because stereotypes can really hold you back. And I will continue using people who stereotype me. I've talked about a few stereotypes that I'm aware of. There's this stereotype about Americans eating lots of chicken and watermelon. Cause I'm like born British, and when I first went to America, I was kind of confused because I never really got it. I never really knew there was an issue with watermelon. Like, I like it, but don't have it that much. And I realized it's an American stereotype, because I know there's kind of like views around it. And I thought that's quite funny, because if you go to other countries, that's just like void, because chicken ain't that good, and watermelon isn't the best fruit, and like in Europe, black people are not known for watermelon and chicken. So I thought that was like an unusual stereotype, and I'm black and I didn't really understand this whole watermelon and chicken thing. I just didn't understand it, and then now I do. Walking down the street, sometimes when I'm walking down the street, people might be like, why are you so mad? Why are you even bothered? I do have a bad frown face, but do you expect me to be walking down the street like a Cheshire cat? Just like smiling for no reason all the time, like look like a real idiot. Basic facts people need to know, which are factual, backed up information, and it's whatever the media exposes as well. Whatever the media exposes, people run with. So if big breasts are promoted on the media, and then lots of women go and get fake breasts, then, or a specific amount of women from a specific race or area got breasts, they'd be known that they could develop the stereotype that all women from that specific area have fake breasts. But then it's just media, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's fact. Like what you see in a music video is not life, but then stereotype would be like it is. Or a stereotype of, if you tell people you're African, they will, some ignorant people might be like, well, do you eat like horses and monkeys and zebras? I don't, I've never tasted any of the three. And I don't know, they might think if you're African you're supposed to look a certain way, and maybe you're supposed to be ugly or have a bone through your nose, I'm not sure. So that's another ignorant thing that comes from stereotypes. And maybe if you're Jamaican, you get asked a question like, well, you're Jamaican, so you must like daggering, or you must like dancehall, because that's a stereotype. And Jewish people have stereotypes that they're tight with money and stuff. And these views, I think, you can find in any race or whatever of people. And if somebody is doing something, it's better to ask them the reason behind it, because everybody has their different reasons. Like some women might wear high heel shoes because they want to be taller, and then some women are wearing it just because it's fashion. Everybody has their reason for doing things, hence I feel like always attack the mind and find out their reasons. Everybody has a story to tell, everyone's coming from something. But I just think, like, if you come out of the stereotypical views, try and avoid being a stereotype. But at the end of the day, you can't please the world. Everybody's gonna think of you in their own way. Everybody's got their stabilized views, but I just want to let people know that stereotypes can be very misleading. I want to ask the question, like, will we ever as a world get along? Everybody feels like their problem is bigger than the next person's problem. Black people think that all our problems are bigger than everybody else's, and every other race thinks that their problems are bigger than everybody, but nobody gets along. Like, everything to me just seems like modern day tribalism. Everything is modern day tribalism. If it's not the Irish against each other, Catholics versus Protestants. If it's not Jews versus the Palestinians. If it's not Creoles against the Mendes, or Africans against West Indians, or West Indians against another West Indians, or West Indians against Americans, or the Guyanese against the Indians, or the Kenyans against Indians, the whites against the blacks, the Chinese against the Japanese. I mean, if we were even all the same, I'm sure we'd find something to be against. So I just feel like everything is modern day tribalism. If everybody gets along, there's always some way for things to be divided. Like, Africa was tribalism, then came colonization, and then we named different countries, and then even though different tribes might be in those different countries, because we have this border, we're now competitors against each other. It's the same crap as like modern day Crips and Bloods. Like, are we ever gonna get along? Everything is a fight. Everything is modern day tribalism. Even within the same countries, you'll find one part against another part. So as human beings, it's just in our nature to feel we're the best. Do we just have this natural competitive nature where we want to conquer another group? Because, you know, we have like the Roman Empire, you know, we have so many great wars and stuff. So is it just in our nature to fight and dominate? Because everything to me these days seems modern day tribalism. People group up, but we form gangs, just like in the playground. It's just that when you get older, the bullshit that happens in the playground is the world, and it's just that your playground's a lot bigger. So will we ever get along?